Hi there, I'm Tris, and welcome to my channel, where I run a small art business as a digital illustrator. Over the past 1.5 years, I've been using the few spare hours I get every week to learn how to open a shop and get people to support my art. It wasn't easy, and I'm not super duper successful yet, but it's starting to work. So I started this channel to log my journey and see if anyone else wanted to follow along. And as you probably heard in the background, I just got a sale on my Etsy shop. Needless to say, there will always be a rough patch or two in the beginning of any project, so pull up a chair and let me share mine with you. We all start somewhere, and maybe you can learn from my mistakes. Since 2017, I had already been taking commissions, very slowly working on them as my confidence in my skills and self-discipline developed. Prying myself away from my video games was always a challenge. My first paid piece was this D&D character for a friend. She had originally asked if I could draw her character, no payment intended, and I said I'd give it a shot, as I wanted to see if I could handle the patience required for a back and forth between a client's requests and making revisions. It took about a year to complete, in between finishing college, working at a small game studio, and also fighting with a long-term illness. I was someone who had to find that pocket of inspiration where I had to sit down and draw for hours or just not at all. I was also stuck in a difficult place of having very little energy due to my illness and working on the computer all day at my job, which made me want nothing to do with my computer at home, and therefore no art got done. Eventually I discovered I had 15 minutes before starting my shift at work every day, 5 days a week, and decided to slowly chip away at my friend's character design during these short sessions. I conveniently had access to a computer and tablet because I was the lead artist in the studio, and then after a few weeks, to my surprise, it was done. I doubted that small amount of time every day would mean anything in terms of progress, but I was wrong, and I unlocked a new way of thinking when it came to finishing projects. It took me a year to finish it due to many factors, but a lot was learned, and that's all that matters. The client was actually super happy with the outcome, and I think she paid me around $80 US for it. That was where my first sale came from. Years would pass and I would make a commission here and there for a friend, but I absolutely hated the process and mostly still do. So I only take commissions from close friends, currently when I have the time. I would much rather be working on art for myself and for my business. When the pandemic hit in 2020, it was my favorite time. I got to stay at home while receiving money through the government, and I got to make as much art as I could muster. I decided that all this free time given to me was a precious gift, and with which I could work on my health, I could rest, and I could dedicate it to drawing a comic. I created 20 pages about a chapter in my character's life from Guild Wars 2, and it was a fabulous exercise. I used it to prove to myself what I was capable of, if given the opportunity to be myself and be my own boss, hitting deadlines and posting each page of my comic to social media on a set schedule. It also helped me practice drawing the same character over and over again, which in turn gave me the confidence that I could create animations and also make my own graphic novel one day. And it's currently in its early stages of development. I promised myself I would not squander that precious time because it was never ever going to get another chance like it, and I upheld that promise to myself. And then lo and behold, a second lockdown happened and I made a second comic. After the lockdown was lifted for the first and second time, I had been working a new job in retail. And you might ask, why did you leave a game studio for a retail job? And that my friends is content for another time, that's a big story. So with the extra money from the government and the wages from my job, I was able to pay off my student debts. Being freed from that goal, I then lacked the drive and meaning in working my regular job. With no one to support but myself, I have no pets, no family to take care of. My mind wandered into what's next. I'm not making enough money doing this to be able to have a meaningful savings account. I'm not happy. My mental health waned working full-time with every interaction I had with annoyingly stupid customers and persistent thieves. I don't like customer service. Who does, really? I hate talking to people and listening to them complain about meaningless things. I have to fight for every penny I ask for in my raises. I'm good at my job and my boss is the best, and that's why I stay. But this isn't a career, and it was just making me tired and angry and sad. Not to mention that it became increasingly difficult to be in that building after one of our youngest and longest standing employees was killed in a gruesome accident with a moose while out on vacation with her family. I was asked to replace her as a manager, and I just couldn't do it. I refused to step up and receive more stress and more responsibility. Everything I had was already too much on top of her passing away. And so I decreased my hours, only working 3 to 4 days a week. In 2023, I tried to apply my skills into increasing activity and profit by creating a small business. As everyone does, I started by doing tons of research, reading some books, and watching as many videos as I could during any time I was at home. If I was cooking, brushing my teeth, doing laundry, videos, all the time. I had first tried out print on demand with TeePublic and Redbubble, but I was met with minimal success, so I moved on to something else. Digital products. They were advertised in many videos as being something that is super profitable and easy to make and sell. So I decided to make some coloring pages. I love making line art and I dislike the coloring process, so this seemed like the perfect niche for me. First I made 3 pages of cute little dinosaurs and put them up on Etsy. And then I made a coloring book about kitty cats as zodiac signs. I thought they were pretty cute. I published it on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing program and ordered my own copy to inspect. It was super neat. Such a cool feeling to have it physically in my hands. I made that. I sold 55 copies that year and not a single one after that. Thanks to all the family and friends who ordered them, by the way. Shortly after launching that book, I started drawing another one. I had a great idea and a really good name picked out for it, but then I was bored. I didn't want to make another coloring book anymore. There was no drive, no fire, no interest. So instead, I put the coloring book up on my Etsy shop as a digital product, along with the dinosaur coloring pages. I also created this simple printable calendar. I thought I had a nice little array of items, and then nothing. Nothing happened for 8 months. I know you had to give an Etsy shop time to be seen and pick up traction, and I was getting views, but no sales. I had been duped into this saturated digital product niche, and it felt foolish. I know I was going to mess up and waste a lot of time in the beginning. We all do when we're learning. It's just a part of the process and how human beings function. Unless you happen to be one of the lucky ones who had a special product right off the bat. Even though it was expected, it still felt bad. Now this is where a lot of people throw up their hands and call it quits, but I moved on and realized I'd have to sell something physical, and I dreaded that because I would have to learn how shipping works, and that scared me the most for some reason. And now don't get me wrong, if you can do the digital product thing the right way, it can be profitable, but I already lost interest in that as well. So back to the drawing board we went. As I continued poking around looking for videos on small businesses, people with sticker shops started popping up on my feeds on YouTube and Instagram. These really captured my brain, and it caused a spark that wouldn't go away. I just had to try it. Every time I saw them working on stickers and other handmade goodies, I felt my soul fire up. And I just wouldn't let go of the concept. My hyper-focus was initiated. The commitment was going to be scary, but if I wanted a better future and I wasn't about to go back to school for another job, I was gonna have to put in all the work I could muster for this to become a reality. I rolled up my sleeves, I took my tax return money, and I took a deep breath as I invested into a cutting machine, which was $300, an EcoTag printer, another $300, a bunch of supplies, and on the side a small treadmill. Don't forget to invest in your health too. So I still had to work on my health at that time. With all my equipment set up, I made a few designs centered around Final Fantasy and put them up for sale in September 2023. My first physical products. Between those few months from September to December, I made just over $200. Not too shabby, and I was very surprised. My goal was $50 a month, and I thought that was a lot. My expectations had been surpassed. I was in a state of disbelief, and I still have a happy dance whenever someone decides to buy my stuff. It feels crazy that someone would want to buy the things I make. But I guess that's the imposter syndrome talking, and we need to just toss that out the window. I had my proof of concept, and I've been rolling with it for over a year now. I knew I could do this and make my business grow. This dream was attainable. Here's a breakdown of how 2024 went. In January, I got 7 orders and I made about $113 Canadian. February, 10 orders, about $120. March, I got 4 orders, $30. April, 9 orders, $53. May, 7 orders, $73. June, 3 orders, $69. July, 14 orders, $107. August, 10 orders, $104. September, 16 orders, $232. That was really exciting. October, 16 orders and $192. And then Canada Post went on strike and I was very, very sad. I missed out on a lot of Christmas stuff, a lot of Christmas orders. So in November, there were only 3, and then I had to cancel 3 because that was right when the strike happened, and I made $53. And then mid-December, the strike was lifted, and I managed to get 8 orders out the door before the end of the year, and that was $85. So total after fees, and not including the cost of supplies, I made over $1,200 and had 107 orders for the year of 2024. I also took some commissions for friends that year, and it totaled just over $1,100. Here's all the digital products that I made for them. So last year, I made just over $2,300 Canadian in my first real attempt at business while working a part-time job. That's not so bad. I was aiming for $1,000 and I managed to surpass that halfway through the year. So as I said before, towards the end of the year, I did lose out on a good handful of orders due to the Canada Post strike because I only used stamps to send out my orders, just to keep the shipping as cheap as possible for everyone around the world. As soon as the strike happened, I had to cancel those 3 orders right off the bat and put my shop on hold from mid-November to mid-December. I missed out on all those Christmas gift sales and I'm still a bit salty about it. My order numbers were ramping up too. However, with that month-long downtime forced upon me, I decided that instead of sulking, I would work on my branding. My logo got an overhaul. I created some custom wrapping with vellum paper. By the way, vellum paper is a pain in the butt to print on. I made new labels. I ordered new packaging items, including these eco-friendly cellophane bags made of plants. I noticed a lot of shops start out using the cheapest packaging possible, which usually ends up being plastic cellophane bags. And then they switch later on to more earth-friendly packaging, but I wanted to make sure that I always used plant-based items wherever I could, even in the beginning. I order a few things from Amazon and then the rest from crystal clear bags in Canada. So that's where I'm at now. 2025 is a promising year, and I want to expand on so much more than stickers. I have a heat press, sublimation printer, and a sewing machine set up and raring to go. And so many different design ideas that it's hard to choose what's next. Not joking, I have pages and pages of ideas, from scrunchies to pins to bookmarks, plushies, you name it. I actually just finished some bookmarks. You can check those out in my Etsy shop if you want. Now I just need to find all the time for all these new goodies to come to life. Not to mention, I'm also trying to work on this YouTube channel and make at least 1 video a month for it, so hopefully I can get monetized by the end of the year and have another income stream to support me, and then work even less at my retail job. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Your support, no matter how small, it means everything to me and it will change my life. I am so grateful for it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!